Through our experiences in the developmental field, where Maharashtra Prabodhan Seva Mandal is working on different community projects, livelihood, natural resource management, agricultural diversification, revival of biodiversity, community-based education program, tribal health program, and so on. Somewhere in our reflection process, we realized when our initiatives or works are not backed by research, there's something lacking. And therefore, through this reflection process, bringing different stakeholders to reflect on the issue, how research would impact the wider community through the projects that MPSM is executing. Research was being done already since the 1980s, which was started by Father Rudy Heredia, established as Social Science Centre, later went on to become Xavier Institute of Social Research and Action, which was headed by Father Anthony Dias.
So I thought of setting up the Social Science Centre because Xavier's had a tradition of research as well as teaching. So I thought that we should set up something for this, and Lancy Pereira, who is a very energetic and dynamic principal, encouraged the idea. So I set this up as the Social Science Centre as the research unit for the social sciences in the college.
Then when the need was realized that the centre has to focus more specifically the issues of rural development, we shifted the centre to Nashik and finally merged with the trust Maharashtra Prabodhan Seva Mandal. Now when we look at the scope of the centre, the idea is very clear. On the one hand, there are issues, challenges that are faced in the rural sector at the grassroots, and then there is the entire gamut of scientists, researchers who are working on issues, whether these two can be put together to find innovative solutions, creative solutions to the issues faced by our communities in the rural areas, in particular tribal communities. Keeping this in mind, we thought through our reflection process and reflecting on our own works, which Maharashtra Prabodhan Seva Mandal has been doing for the past almost 60 years, it is better that we take off from these issues, and hence on this research center there are 5 units reflected. 1, the soil microbiology, which is fully established. We have a team working on the project, and that is an action-oriented project. The approach that we use here is field to lab or field to classroom. It's not that the problematic is identified here only through literature review and then taken to the field, a push strategy, but it is a pull strategy where you are pulling the issues from the field to the center and see how that can be worked on the research front, and translate these findings, outcomes into projects, viable projects for the development of these communities in the rural areas, especially the tribal communities in the context of Maharashtra Prabodhan Seva Mandal. Of course, having a wider impact later on other rural communities in our country.
Given the experiences that we have generated from the field, we have realized that soil health plays an important role in the productivity and the economics of the farmers. When we talk about the soil health, the better the soil, the better will be the productivity and better will be the income of the farmers. Here at PCR, we are trying to look into the soil microbial diversity, which will help us understand the soil health in a better way. We have collected samples from different farmers from their control and test plot. Control plots are basically the plots whereby the farmers are using chemical fertilizers, and test plots are the plots whereby the farmers are using organic fertilizers. And in this case, we have given them azolla and vermicompost combination, and vermicompost as an individual organic fertilizer. The farmers have used these fertilizers for their paddy growth, and after cultivation, we have collected the soil samples. The samples that we have collected from the farmers are analyzed to check the percentage of nitrogen fixers, the percentage of phosphate solubilizers and potassium solubilizers. we carry out different experiments to understand and to identify this different organism. After the identification of these organisms, we shall be selecting the important ones and making a consortium of the nitrogen fixer, phosphate solubilizer and potassium solubilizer, and giving the farmer a one-stop solution to enhance the soil health. This is a small step towards studying the soil health and enhancing the soil health and reviving the soil health. Better the soil, better the yield, and better will be the human health.
So therefore, soil microbiology unit having been set up, we also now think of, over a period of 5 to 6 years, social sciences which would dwell on anthropology, sociology, community organization and development, and other such topics, other such related issues in research. Then we also have something that has been planned for tribal studies, specifically given their culture, given their worldview, given their way of responding to issues. How can we really draw insights from there and take those insights back from the point of view of sustainability and scalability? Then we have a section on elementary education, because MPSM has been extensively working at the grassroots with community education program, which is for the crowd, for the children from the first to the fourth, how they comprehend learning, how they comprehend the lessons that have got to be put across to them through education. Keeping that in mind, there is a model put in place which has got 8 modules within the model. Now, in the context of NEP, this makes more sense at the elementary level, and therefore one unit being set up for that. And finally, the public policy. Now, this is the overall vision of Prabodhan Centre for research. Idea being very clear to all of us that from the field we should be able to take up issues and bring them to the laboratory, bring them to the classroom, bring them to the library, think over it and come out with innovative solutions. This is the vision of PCR, and in this course of our action, we also look at many barefoot researchers being part of this movement. Also different institutions, academic institutions, research institutions, where there will be a lot of exchange of ideas, students coming in, doing different studies, or perhaps coming in to look after some components of a particular project, and then how we can have a platform created, a network created to exchange ideas, to create a cadre of people who think out issues at the grassroots, whereby one fine day we'll be able to bridge this divide between rural and urban and have a free flow of information, a free flow of ideas, a free flow of resources, whereby we would be in a position to redefine development, in other words. And that's the tagline of Prabodhan Centre for Research. Redefining development, which would consider everyone as part of this movement.